They told us waterfront cities were the dream, ocean views, vibrant culture, endless opportunity. But what if that dream is turning into a ticking time bomb, rising seas, monster storms, and sinking land? The truth about waterfront cities isn't what you think, and if you live near a coast, you need to see this. Picture this: Miami's beaches vanishing, Venice's canals swallowing its streets, Jakarta, a megacity of 10 million, literally sinking into the ground. Waterfront cities have always been magnets for people, money, and power, but climate change is flipping the script. Today, we're asking the hard question: are these cities still the future, or are they on borrowed time? What is the real cost of living by the water? Which cities are fighting back? Which ones are doomed? And what does this mean for you? Let's get real. Waterfront cities are in trouble, and it's not just about a little extra flooding. We're talking about existential threats. Scientists agree the oceans are rising 3 times faster than they were a century ago. Take Miami. By 2040, experts say $3 to $4 billion worth of property could be underwater every single year. Not in 100 years, in 15. By 2100, we could see 2 meters of sea level rise that's enough to flood 30% of Bangkok permanently and swallow entire island nations like the Maldives. But here's what's scarier: it's accelerating. Greenland's ice sheet is melting 6 times faster than in the 1990s. Antarctica? It's losing 200 billion tons of ice per year. That's like dumping 80 million Olympic swimming pools into the ocean every year. Hurricanes don't mess around anymore. Warmer water equals more energy equals storms that don't just damage cities, but erase them. Look at what Hurricane Sandy did to New York. Flooded NYC's subway system for weeks, costing it $70 billion. Hurricane Katrina destroyed 80% of New Orleans, leaving over 1,800 people dead. Typhoon Haiyan was the strongest storm ever recorded at landfall, with a speed of 195 miles per hour. And it's getting worse. By 2050, Category 6 hurricanes, yes, they're considering adding a new level, could become normal. Cities like Jakarta, Indonesia aren't just fighting the ocean, they're sinking 10 inches per year because they're pumping too much groundwater. It's like sitting in a canoe while drilling holes in the bottom. Houston, Texas, pumping groundwater has caused some areas to drop 10 feet. The famous Venice city sinks 1 to 2 millimeters per year, but rising seas make it worse. This isn't just about flooding, it's about infrastructure collapse. Roads crack, sewers fail, buildings tilt. Yet the worst part is this: people keep moving to these places. Coastal populations are growing, not shrinking. So why are we doubling down on danger? We've got tech, money, and engineering, so why can't we just fix this? Well, we've tried. The Netherlands built mega dikes and pumps. Works great if you're rich. Most cities can't afford a $50 billion seawall. Miami's $6 billion fix plan of raising roads and installing pumps is already failing. Salt water is already seeping into freshwater drinking supplies. You can't pump away the ocean. In Jakarta, Indonesia, the government is moving the capital to Borneo, costing it $32 billion. Dubai's Palm Islands are eroding. Even billionaires can't outrun nature. Lagos, Africa's largest city, is sinking fast. Over 20 million people at risk. Large parts of New Orleans are already below sea level. Next big storm could be the last. New York's $119 billion seawall proposal would take 25 years to build. Will it be enough? Real estate developers love waterfront property, governments love the tax revenue, so they downplay risks, overhype solutions, and keep building. But insurance companies aren't stupid. In Florida, premiums doubled in 5 years. Soon, only the ultra-rich will afford to live there. When a storm hits, who gets left behind? The poor, the elderly, the people without resources to evacuate or rebuild. The wealthy build higher walls. The poor drown. By 2050, 200 million people could be displaced by rising seas. Venice, Alexandria, Bangkok, these places hold centuries of history. What happens when they're gone? Climate change isn't just an environmental crisis, it's a justice crisis. We'll adapt, sure, but how? Relocating entire cities? Building floating neighborhoods? Most plans are either too expensive or too late. And let's be honest, Would you buy a house that might be underwater in 10 years? We have 3 options.
Defend, build seawalls, pumps. Expensive, temporary. Adapt, floating cities, elevated buildings. Works for some, not all. Retreat, abandon high-risk areas. Politically explosive.
Which will we choose? Here's the uncomfortable truth. We're running out of time. Some of these cities won't survive, not like they are now. Even if we stopped all CO2 emissions today, the seas would keep rising for centuries. Millions of homes will be worthless by 2050. Entire cultures could disappear underwater. Scientists are already talking about managed retreat, like abandoning areas too risky to save. Think about that. We might have to let go of parts of Miami, NYC, Bangkok. But it's not all doom. Some cities are fighting back smart. Prove we can adapt if we act now.
Singapore is building higher and smarter, with green spaces that absorb floodwater. Copenhagen turned flood zones into parks that double as emergency reservoirs. Tokyo built underground tunnels the size of cathedrals to divert floodwater. Rotterdam, Netherlands, built floating neighborhoods. Houses rise with floodwaters.
The Chongming Dongtan Ecological Restoration Project in Shanghai involved creating a multi-zone wetland park on reclaimed land at the mouth of the Yangtze River. These nature-based solutions are designed to function as living infrastructure. The engineered wetland systems in Shanghai are not just green spaces, they are highly functional ecosystems that mimic natural processes. During a storm, the dense vegetation and complex topography of the wetlands slow the velocity of incoming water, absorbing the surge's energy far more effectively than a concrete wall. They also act as giant biological filters, improving water quality and creating important habitats for birds and marine life. The lesson?
Survival isn't about resisting the water, it's about working with it.
So are waterfront cities doomed? Not necessarily, but the build and pray approach, that's over. The water doesn't care about your $1 million view. Nature's winning, and the only way to stay ahead is to get serious about how we design, build, and even leave our favorite places. Living by the water will never be truly safe again, but if we use our brains, money, and tech, maybe, just maybe, we can build future cities no storm can drown. If you own property near a coast, check flood maps. If you live in a sinking city, start planning. If you care about the future, demand action. The cities that'll thrive are the ones facing reality now, not when the water's at their doorstep. The water is coming. The question is, what will we do about it? If you want more unfiltered truths about the future of cities, hit subscribe. See you next time when we'll be exploring whether vertical farming could solve the urban food crisis.